Hello and welcome to Upstack America's Oracle EBS Financials Functional Training. My name is Bob and I'm the lead senior consultant for Upstack America, and with me I have Victor, who is also a senior consultant, and today we are handling General Ledger Lesson 54, and Victor, please walk us through.
Thank you, Bob, for the introduction, and welcome everybody to this lesson of Oracle Financials Functional Training. We are still looking at FSG reports, and in this lesson we are going to see how to create FSG ad hoc reports. We already know how to do reports. That's what we've been dealing with in the whole of this session for FSG, and we know that to create an FSG report, you have to have the two mandatory features, the row set and the column set, and then you have the optional features. So what is an ad hoc report? So we know when we define reports, we define the reports and their constituent components, the row set and the column set and any other optional components, and then we can save them. So that means when we query reports, we can go and see a particular report and run it, okay? However, Oracle has a feature that allows us to run reports that are not predefined. And what does that mean? What it means is that you just take the components of a report from the ones that you have already defined. You have your row sets and you have your column sets that you have already defined and you can query. So you just take the ones that you need. You take any column set and you take any row set, of course, depending on the kind of report that you want to produce, and then you just produce that report instantaneously without having to go through the report definition page. So what am I talking about? Let's go to Oracle and take a look. I need to log out of this. I'm not sure this is a current session, so let's go to reports, define report. So we already know this page, right? We come here and we define a report. We put the column set and the row set, and we already have a number of reports that we have created. So these are all the reports that we have created, and we can go and run these reports at any time, okay? However, what if you don't have one that you've saved here, but you know that you have a row set and a column set that suits whatever reporting need you have at that moment, and you just want to create a report without having to come to this page? What can you do? So you can go to reports, request, financial, individual reports. We can come here and query a report that we have already created, the ones that I've just shown you, or we can just do this, define ad hoc report. When you do define ad hoc report, this is the page that you get. So you can come here and select, enter a title, all right? So you can call this maybe Maskani. Just call it Maskani ad hoc report. And now you see you can select your row set from whichever row sets that you have. and column set. Let's do this Maskani income statement column set. Right now, if you have a control values in that report, then you will have to define the control values here. Enter whatever feature you want to represent with your control value, whether it's a budget or it's a currency, encumbrances, etc. Okay. Select OK. Now you see, even when you select OK, a system generated title is produced. All right. So FSG Adhoc and a number. All right. At runtime, you can attach optional components. For example, maybe if you want to add our row order, you can add a row order there and submit this ad hoc report. This is our request ID. And our report is being prepared. So that's the whole point of what I wanted to demonstrate, that instead of defining a report and then saving it, you can produce a report instantaneously as long as the user or you know that you know what kind of report you want, and therefore what kind of row set and column set you are going to use. You can view the output for this, and this is the report that has been produced. Right. So that's what it means by producing an ad hoc report. So let me click this define ad hoc report button again, and let's create a new one. Well, let's keep it that way, and I want to see whether we can get a column set that we know has a budget column. So budget amounts. You see, when we enter a column set that has a budget column, and we know that when we are creating these budget columns, we enter control values, then this field becomes available. Right. Now I can't, I'm pretty sure the control value is either 1 or 2, but I'm not going to bother running that report. I just wanted to show you that you can define ad hoc reports, even the ones that have control values. So we have run that ad hoc report. Now let's go to report, define report. And let's scroll. These are all the reports that have Maskani in them, right? But you can't see that ad hoc report, all right? Because it's not a report that you defined and saved. So as we said, this is a report that's just produced instantaneously, and you don't need to come and define and save it among your normal reports. Okay. So let's go back to our slides. Once we create ad hoc reports, then we have a feature that allows us to purge them. Okay, so this is done to prevent pile up of reports which can affect system performance. Like we have said, these reports are not the normal reports which you have defined and saved that you are going to be running perhaps frequently. Okay, so in that sense, you don't want them to pile up and affect system performance while we know it's not something that end users want to keep. It's just something that's produced instantaneously. So we can purge these reports, all right? And the way we do this is by running this standard request, standard delete ad hoc report program. So the thing with this program, it can be run by our GL responsibilities that we have, or we can use system admin responsibility also. System admin responsibility can be used to purge all the requests in the system, regardless of which responsibility was used to produce them. But as an individual GL responsibility, for example, the one we're using, Maskani GL, can only purge the reports which were produced under that responsibility. Okay, so we're going to quickly go and look at this program. So we're going to go to report request standard. We want a single request, and that program, let me take a look. Let me we can just use wildcards anyway. Let's see. Ad hoc and wildcard program delete ad hoc report. The parameters that you encounter when you want to run this is days old. So what does this mean? It means how far back do you want to go to purge the ad hoc reports which were produced. If you're doing this at the end of the month, you can put this as 31 days or 30 days. Okay. If you're doing it weekly, you can do this 7 days and so on. If you're doing it bi-weekly, you can put 14 days here. All right. So if we do that, then we can just submit this, and that program has been run. And that's the result. 0 ad hoc reports deleted, right? So anyway, that's how you run that purge program that prevents the pileup of this kind of reports in the system. So let's go back to our slides. Now, can we schedule FSG reports? Yes, we can schedule FSG reports. And how do we do this? The way we schedule FSG reports, of course, because we've been doing ours on demand, right? When we want a report, we just run it then. But perhaps you know, you have created a certain type of report, and you know you produce this report at a particular time over each period. Okay, so you can schedule this report to run as often as you want it to. So it's funny because when we're producing financial reports, we usually request financial reports, but there's a standard request that we can run in order to produce financial reports. And this is the program run financial statement generator. Okay, so let's go and check out what this thing looks like. So we go to reports, request, then standard, single request. Let's use wildcards, financial. Hope that's specific enough. Yeah, program run financial statement generator. What are the parameters that you need to enter here? These are the parameters that you need to enter, the yellow fields. Okay, so here you have the reports that are under your responsibility, and you select whatever report that you want to run. So let's say we want to run this Maskani income statement. Okay, once you do that, the features of the report are automatically populated because you have saved this report and all these features. However, you can go and add the optional features if you want. You can add your content set or display set if you have one. You have the option for exceptions, and we have this field level of detail, and we are going to look at what that means. So these are the parameters for this report, and everything looks okay. We don't need to change anything here. Okay. Now you can submit this to run this report right now, or you can schedule the report. Okay, and these are your options. You can run the job once, periodically, or specific days. So you select according to your requirements. So you can schedule your report to run at a specific time. So you can enter the date. Let's say we want this report to start tomorrow. Okay, at maybe 6 in the morning. That should be 06. It says leave end date blank to run this report indefinitely. Okay, so there is no end date to when the system will stop scheduling this report. Here you can say after how many days to rerun this report. If you're doing this perhaps monthly and you want it to run every 21st, you can enter like 30 days here, right? You can enter when you want the interval to start, maybe from the start of this, or after this first one is run and completed, then the interval can start counting from then. The 30 days can start counting from then. Okay, so let's say this is what you want to do. You select OK. You have selected a schedule without an end date. This schedule will cause the request to be resubmitted until cancelled. Okay, so that's what it means to run this indefinitely. Okay, are you sure you want to do this? Let's say okay. We can go ahead and cancel it later and click submit. This is your request ID 586.28.57. Now, you can see that this is pending and the status is scheduled. Why? Because it's scheduled to run tomorrow, right? So we've entered the system the 21st of November, right? So after that report is run, okay, another request will be launched because you schedule this to run periodically, okay? And it will remain scheduled until the due date, until the date when you have said it's been set to run again, okay? So once this one is run tomorrow, it will be complete like this other request, and then another request will be launched automatically, okay? So you can come here and cancel this request. Canceling a request cannot be undone, yes. I just wanted to demonstrate how we can schedule FSG reports, okay? But we know that normally the way we run financial reports is request financial and then individual reports, and it brings us to this page. But from this page, we can't schedule this financial reports. We have to run that standard request, okay? And also remember that if you want to run the ad hoc reports, this is also where you come. So those are the topics that I wanted to discuss in this lesson. And Bob, unless you have something to add, that'd be a good place to end.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.